All right, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Shai. All praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Now, this is just a video on something that Trump said. I'm gonna start this from the beginning because it's basically showing how the troops, U.S. troops, are still in Syria, but Trump, comes out and says that he's going to be bringing the troops back home. And, we had this being said for the last couple of years, numerous of times. You know, that's a lie. Ultimately, because it's not lining up with the prophecies in the scriptures, man. Trump has been going in on this news, man, about bringing these prophecies to pass, man. He'll say one thing and do another, or a lot of his a lot of stuff he say he do though. But in this case right here, um, you know, what he's saying isn't gonna happen. Because like it says in Isaiah, my words shall not return unto me void. So, and they got to bring in this new world order, man. They trying to bring in this new world order, so they have to stay over there in the Middle East, and conquer what Al-Assad and Iran, to help bring in this new world order. But the Lord ain't gonna let that happen, and that's how the third world war gonna start. So with him saying, he gonna be bringing the troops home, that's a lie. And I'm gonna get some scriptures, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this video.
The Americans have long had a presence in this part of northern Syria, supporting the Syrian Democratic Forces, or SDF, in the fight against ISIL. But Turkey views the Kurdish YPG, which makes up the bulk of the SDF, as a terrorist organization. And in the latest twist, French President Emmanuel Macron met with an SDF delegation on Thursday night in Paris and offered to mediate, which isn't going down well in Ankara.
YPG'ye destek garantisi verdik. Macron says that he gave guarantee of support to the YPG, that France can be mediators between Turkey and the SDF. Who gave you this duty? Do not engage in things beyond you.
Turkish armed forces have already taken control of much of the Syrian province of Afrin, pushing out the YPG. Erdogan has long threatened to push further east onto Manbij, where the US has military bases, and all the way to the Iraqi border. The Americans have also been monitoring the potential front line between Kurdish fighters and the Turkish-backed Syrian rebels who are nearby. And to complicate matters even further, the US Commander-in-Chief had this to say.
And by the way, we're knocking the hell out of ISIS. We'll be coming out of Syria very soon. Let the other people take care of it now. Very soon. Very soon we're coming out.
That boast goes against what American commanders have been saying all along, that the U.S. will remain in the northeastern part of Syria for now to prevent the resurgence of ISIL. Trump caught even the State Department off guard.
I can't comment on what the president supposedly said. I haven't seen it. I'd have to refer you back to the White House.
You didn't supposedly say it.
Well, I have not seen it myself. Okay?
You said it.
I have not seen that myself.
Okay.
You don't necessarily comment or report on things that have been heard secondhand, and I'm not going to do that either.
That's okay. That's fine. So you're not aware of any policy determination to pull the U.S. out of Syria?
I am not. No.
The U.S. presence in Syria gives it a stake at the negotiating table, as long as troops maintain their presence in the Kurdish areas. The war in Syria is now entering a phase where Russia, Turkey, and Iran are in the process of bartering for their strategic interests. The Kurdish YPG currently controls around 20% of territory in Syria, the second highest area of land after President Bashar al-Assad and his forces. Turkey wants that to change, and it's anyone's guess how it will all play out. Stephanie Decker, Al Jazeera.
Right, so you can see Trump bluntly lied because, that's what he's supposed to do. No, he bluntly lied, man. It's prophecy that this war, gonna it's gonna keep having fuel add to it, until you have a shot come back and they shoot missiles on this place and the other regions over there in the Middle East. But I'm gonna start with this scripture real quick. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which was planted. Let me jump. This is verse 8. It says a time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. Right. So we're in a time of peace. Trump isn't going to be able to bring them troops home because the Lord is not going to let them, because it's prophecy. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "For behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem," right? And as you can see, that's happening by the Lord waking us up. You know, that's why he got us out there on the highways and byways, you know, starting from my elders on down, preaching his word. It says, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel." Right, so that's the prophecy that's happening now. The Lord got them nations gathered over there in the valley of Jehoshaphat, man. You know, and they're gonna have to they're gonna get their judgment for having us in slavery, you know, and doing all the atrocities and the wickedness that they have done to us, man. You know, they took all our customs and everything, man. You know, they killing us off with their, you know, the Arabs killing us off with the pork and all that shit. Esau poison in the air and everything, and the rest of the nations. At some point in time, another had one of the tribes in slavery or some shit, man. It says, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land." Right, and we were scattered amongst all nations, man. So, you know, you nations have to pay for that, man. You know. It says, "And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy from the harlot," right? They used to have turned young boys into sex slaves for these funky ass, homosexual ass Edomite devils. It says, "And so a girl for wine, they sell our young women for wine, that they may drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine?" Right, Tyre, Zidon is some Africans, Palestine is some Arabs. "Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your head." So, you know, the nations over there in the Middle East, because of what they done to us in slavery. You know, the scriptures say, hold on, let me see. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 6, "Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you." Right, and they troubled us, man. They had us in slavery. We're still in captivity. All the nations had a hand in jacking Israel up. So, you know, the Lord gonna pay them back for that. We gonna get our vengeance. This is Galatians chapter 6. Verse 7, "Be not deceived. Yahweh Shai is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." Right, so since y'all had us in slavery, we're going to get to put y'all back in slavery. And do experiments and stuff on y'all, man. So said the scriptures, man. And righteousness stuff. All right, this is back to Joel chapter 3. I'm going to start back at verse 4. It says, Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, them Africans, and all the coast of Palestine, them Arabs, will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold to the Grecians. Right, so they took our, they ransacked our temples, and they sold us unto the Grecians. The Grecians is these Edomites. It says that ye might remove them far from their border, right, and our border is the land of Israel. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. Right, so the Lord raising us up out of all the places in America, man. You know, and what they did to us, we're going to get to do to them. And righteousness, though, you know. We're not going to be having sex with the young boys and all that shit. That's Esau, faggot ass. It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it. Right. All right, this is Joel chapter 2, verse 20. It says, but I will remove far off from you the northern army, which is the North American army. America, the American army. And will drive them into a land barren and desolate. Right? And that land barren and desolate is Saudi Arabia, with the face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, which is the Red Sea. The east sea is the Euphrates. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. Right, so the Lord gonna drive you, the American army over there, man. You know, to fight this war, man, to be destroyed, man. So ain't no way in hell, you know, should anybody be listening to Trump when the scriptures say that they supposed to be over there, and they're gonna be over there, and they're gonna die over there. You know. This is Psalms chapter 55. Verse 21, it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, right? Because, you know, you'll have people actually believe that Trump is actually trying to bring them troops back. But war was in his heart, right? But their ultimate goal is to bring in this new world order, and, right, to bring in this new world order, man. And if they got to kill nations or kill certain leaders or start certain wars to do it, they're going to do it. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 1. It says, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple. His disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. It says, and as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world, which is the end of Esau's society? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And that's talking about your religions. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. That's what you hear going on right now, man. Wars and rumors of wars. You got all types of proxy wars going on in the Middle East. That's what you see happening with Turkey, which is with Erdogan and ISIS. You know, and Iran involved in that. Syria involved in that. Russia involved in that. It says here of wars and rumors of wars. Right, so the rumors of wars is America versus Russia, America versus Iran, America versus China, Israel versus Iran. You know, those are rumors of wars because that hasn't actually kicked off, man. It's just a rumor. That's stuff that they show in the news media with that vibe, so to speak, you know, going on. It says, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, so all this stuff's supposed to be coming to pass, man, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation. That's talking about race riots. You had race riots going on a couple of years straight, and you know, in various nations. One in particular was France. Another in particular was over here in America. You know, on the smaller level of Jake's whooping Edomite ass and shit, man. But that's nation against nation, is race riots, and kingdom against kingdom, and that's future prophecy because America and Russia gonna lock horns soon, and there shall be famines, which is a lack of food, and pestilences, which is diseases, and that's going on heavy around the whole world, man. Just turn on the news or go on Google and look it up. You know, and they'll give you places where people didn't call pestilences, which diseases or famines. You know, it's a lot of starvation and pestilence going on in Africa right now. It says earthquakes in diverse places, right? And, you know, who been having a whole lot of earthquakes lately that's been in the news a lot was Mexico. Mexico been on the map for that lately. It says all these are the beginning of sorrows. It says, right, and those are just the beginning of sorrows, man. That's just the beginning, man. You know, so what's to come is way worse than what's happening right now, man. But that's it for the lesson. All praise to Yahweh by Shema Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well. And salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.